Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about The Walking Dead Season 11 trailer. And I want to do a bit of a more, I want to do more in-depth videos talking about certain parts of the trailer. Like today we're going to talk about Maggie and Negan. I made a video yesterday on the channel breaking down the entire trailer shot by shot. It's like 30 minutes long. So I know it's a pretty long video, but I always do that. I initially break that. It's like an initial breakdown slash reaction. Like I'm going through it for the first time and breaking it down. And then I go back and I revisit it and I do more in-depth breakdowns of certain parts of the trailer. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And we're going to be talking about Maggie and Negan and a little bit of a discussion slash theory video, I guess. Just when I was watching the season 11 trailer, I started thinking about the scenes between Maggie and Negan, because that was definitely a highlight of the trailer. And I started thinking about the possibility of Maggie killing Negan. Now, I'm sure I'm not the first person to think of this. I'm not trying, I don't want to say that. I know I call it like a theory. I'm sure this has been something that a lot of people have been wondering, or, I'm sure it's crossed other people's mind as well. But in my trailer, my full trailer breakdown, I talked about how it's the final season and the stakes are high and, anything could really happen. And I thought that it's possible, for Maggie to kill Negan. Now, we're going to get into it, obviously, more in depth. I just want to give a general spoiler warning, though, in case you are not caught up with The Walking Dead. And then also, if you are a fan of the show, be sure to subscribe, because we have a lot of Walking Dead content coming up leading up to the premiere of Season 11, which is in, less than a month. And then obviously reviews, breakdowns, all that kind of stuff when the season rolls around. So be sure to subscribe if you enjoy The Walking Dead, you're a fan of the show. But yeah, let's get into the video. All right, so Maggie killing Negan. So let me first talk about let me first talk about the scenes that we had with them in the trailer, which sort of sparked this for me. I wrote down some notes, and what I wrote was, would it complete her story? This is a question I guess you guys can answer in the comments down below. Would it be, or not would it complete her story, but would it be complete for her story, I think that's a better way to phrase it, because the story could continue, but if the show is ending in season 11, and let's say they don't want to do anything with Maggie in the future, no spin-offs or anything like that, and we're going to talk about that as well, spin-offs and stuff like that, and what that could mean for certain characters. Like Daryl and Carol, I'm sure they're going to survive because they have a spin-off coming, but other characters we don't know for sure. But let's say they're not doing anything with Maggie after season 11, and the show ends. Would it feel incomplete if she doesn't do something against Negan? Or if they reunite, will that be okay? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But in the trailer, we had Negan and Maggie talking to each other. And let me go ahead and read the dialogue between them. So it was pretty intense and, pretty dark as well. Maggie said, "I lost something and I don't think it's a bad thing that I did." And Negan says, "I did what needed to be done." And Maggie says, "You destroyed everything that we built," to which Negan responds, "The only way this works is if we trust each other. So what do you say?" And then we have some more a little bit later in the trailer. I'll get to that as well. And then Daryl also mentions, we hear Daryl say, "If you trust him, I'll trust him." So that's him probably talking to Maggie. So a couple of things there. First of all, it looks like Negan is trying to get Maggie's trust, first of all. But Maggie is still obviously very upset at Negan. And Negan doesn't seem to be very apologetic. Like he's saying, I did what needed to be done, which was kind of a shock to me. And yeah, like that's what I mean. Like he's done some redeemable stuff, but at the same time, he does these other things, which still shows his his original self. Like at the end of season 10, he came back to Alexandria and he was like giving Maggie that little smirk. Maggie looked very angry. And then in the trailer we have this where he's saying that what he did. I'm assuming this is the conversation about Glenn and Abraham. I'm assuming that's what he's referring to. Like, I did what needed to be done. I could totally be wrong about that, because it was just like we don't know the context around this scene, but when Maggie says, "I lost something," and Negan says, like, "I did what needed to be done," that's what kind of comes to mind to me. And that definitely does not help Negan at all. In terms of redeeming points, if you will, that's what I'm referring to. It doesn't help Negan in that department. But later on in the trailer, we also have Maggie saying, the woman who left is not the one standing here now. So keep pushing me, Negan, please. And this was a pretty intense scene in the trailer, and we just saw like a minute of it just play, or like a few not even a minute, a few seconds of it play out. And we actually get to see Maggie pointing a gun. It doesn't show Negan, but I'm assuming, given the dialogue, I'm assuming she is pointing the gun at Negan, and Daryl is right behind her. And remember, I just talked about Daryl's line in the trailer where he said, "If you say trust him, I'll trust him." So because of that, Daryl is sort of, he respects Maggie. Obviously, it's her decision. What Negan did to her. It's obviously very hard on her, and Dale's not just going to disagree with Maggie and side with Negan or anything like that. It just makes sense for that to happen. But so the trailer kind of leaves that that question up in the air, like are they going to trust each other, are they going to work together, or is Maggie going to kill Negan? And I think that gun that Maggie's actually using to point at Negan, I think Negan's the one who actually gives her that gun, because we also see that a little bit earlier in the trailer. So this goes back to that whole question, the title of the video, or the discussion of the video, if Maggie will kill Negan. And another thing that I wrote down in my notes for this is that, Negan is, in some ways, he can be likable, but a lot of that also has to do with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who does such a great job playing Negan. He's very charismatic, and of course Negan can be funny at times, and his charm and stuff like that, fans like Negan. But I just want to talk about character here. I know Jeffrey Dean Morgan adds a lot to that character, which I just said could be very likable. But if we're thinking about character only here, has Negan really redeemed himself? Has he? That's what I mean. He hasn't done anything too specific just yet for Maggie. So I don't think, even though he's part of the community, he's joining them on their missions, it's not done just yet. There's still a lot he has to do if he wants to get to that point where he's redeemed, or it's just not going to happen, and that's a big possibility. And then when it comes to the fact that this is the final season and the spin-offs I was talking about earlier, that has a big part in this, I think, because the stakes are a lot higher right now, I think, because it's the final season. Because AMC, there's no reason for AMC to hold back on characters who won't be, in spin-offs in the future. Does this mean that everyone who doesn't get a spin-off will die? No, of course not. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. I'm sure the show will end. I'm sure season 11 will end with a lot of characters who are happy and alive and, just living their life in that universe. So I'm not trying to say, if you don't get a spin-off, you're going to die. That's not going to happen at all. I'm sure the show will have a good ending, but what I'm trying to say is that if AMC doesn't have any plans for certain characters, they could, they don't have to hold back. In prior seasons, they might have held back on, decisions to kill certain characters because they wanted to keep them for the next season or something, for ratings, because fans like them, something like that, right? But because it's the final season, the stakes are a lot higher now. So this comes into the question of spin-offs for Negan. Do they have a spin-off for Negan? I just talked about Maggie's story in the beginning of the video. Would her killing Negan be something that would feel complete for her story? And at the same time, is Negan's story complete? Because if Negan's story is complete, then there really is no reason for them not to go through with it, right? If they don't have anything planned for Negan in the future, they could do it. But then again, Negan, like I said, he has become a bit of a fan favorite. So even, I don't know. It's difficult because of all the spin-off talk. But just because they gave him that Here's Negan episode, I don't know. Would they do stuff with him in the future? You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Here's what I'll say, though. I wouldn't be surprised if Maggie kills Negan. That's my guess. I mean, that's what I want to say. I'm not. It's not really a guess because I'm not saying whether she will or won't, but it's more of a discussion. But what I will say is that I wouldn't be surprised, and I could see it definitely happening. Right? Like I would. I honestly would not be that surprised because the show is different than the comic for sure. You know what Negan did on the show. You know what Glenn and Abraham. It was a lot more brutal on the show than in the comic for sure, in my opinion. And because of that, if they want to do that for Maggie and her character, a character who's been there since season 2, her and Glenn got together in season 2. If they want to do that for her story and have her kill Negan, I think it could work. I really do. And I don't know. This is a bit polarizing. Like, what do you guys think? You guys are fans of the show as well. I'm not really saying if I want it. It's hard to say if I want it to happen, but I'm just accepting the fact that it could happen, and I think that it could work for the story. I guess for me, like either way could work. I could see it, going both ways for her story. I feel like they could make it either of them work, like the forgiveness or her killing Negan. But I do think it'll be interesting if the show takes a different route. But killing a character like Negan is a big decision. If AMC kills Negan, then they can't really do any spin-offs in the future for him. And Robert Kirkman actually did do a spin-off for Negan, like a comic version after his comic ended. So I mean, AMC could do the same, or maybe they just want to focus on other Walking Dead stories. That's also very possible. But just watching this trailer and watching those scenes between Maggie and Negan just gave me this feeling that the idea of Maggie killing Negan just seems very, very, very possible to me in this final season. But you guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Do you think Maggie will kill Negan, or do you think, she'll forgive him, or just, forget about it and move on? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But I am going to wrap it up there for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. Again, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, like I said, be sure to subscribe because we have a lot of Walking Dead content coming up. And as always, thanks for watching. Please take care, and I'll see you guys soon.